Part of the process is to make sure you're comfortable while you're here, because for some families, you're here for a really long time and this becomes your home.
When your family has something like this happen to it, there is nothing that you would have ever gone through to prepare you for that. And you come into a scenario where you're just pretty much clueless.
How do we show productivity in child life? How do we, how do we quantify that? And you can't, because it's just extra. And until you go through something and you have it, you don't realize how wonderful it is.
We will come in and meet with the patient, the family, any siblings, and really help on the child's level to understand that something's going on inside their body, and that we're going to give them medicine to help get them better, help get rid of the bad germs, the bad cells, and just kind of put everything on their level so that they can comprehend and understand what's next.
The role that Child Life and the nurses play is an important one. It's something that people who don't live in a children's hospital would never even know existed.
What you need, we do our best to make it happen, whether you need a coffee machine in your room, or you like a certain brand of diapers, or you want to have a baby naming ceremony for your new baby that's in the NICU. We'll just figure out how to do it.
All these little pieces put together, Child Life does, and nobody knows it unless you live in this world, unless you don't have it. There are days when, they can't work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You miss them. Every time they're not here, they're that huge for us.
When they're here in the hospital, no matter what the diagnosis is, it is a crisis to them, it's an emergency to them, and it's our job to do what we can to support them in that.
The reality of pediatric illness is very ugly. The children are so brave, and I never fully understood the magnitude of that word until I watched my infant, toddler fight cancer.
They go through so much. And the sad part is it becomes their norm. So you have somebody like Mitch, who was very young, who was very scared when he first started this journey. And by the end of his journey, he wanted all of us. He looked for us. He wasn't scared of his room. He wasn't scared of this place because it became his life.
You just can't even imagine going through as a 1 to, any age child. And the things that they go through, it changes them individually. And for these nurses and the people who work with them to be able to come in every day and watch that happen, and then be able to go back into their own normal lives, it takes a special person who is able to do that.
I had been planning a Mickey Mouse birthday party for our house. The Child Life staff stepped in. They decorated the theater with Mickey Mouse.
Made it just a special event that we would have never been able to pull off on our own without their help, and I'll never forget that.
They made the birthday party seem normal, even though we were in the middle of a children's hospital and really in the middle of a big crisis.
He was diagnosed the day after he was baptized. He died on Palm Sunday. And so his entire life was spiritual, and it brought me closer to God, gave me more faith in God, and I will never be the same. And it's introduced me to a totally different way of life, really to help others and make sure that others who are going to go through this journey in the future have the support and care and love that they need.
I don't want Mitchell to have died and gone through all the pain and suffering that he went through in vain. I want to pull back the curtain. I want people to see pediatric illness. I want there to be fair funding from a federal perspective for cancer research around pediatric cancer. I want there to be more local funding for children's hospitals and for Hemby Children's Hospital. I want no family to ever be afraid of how they're going to pay the bills, how they're going to manage work, how they're going to pay for their child's funeral cost. I don't want any family to ever worry about that. And that's where Mitchell's Fund can help.